You know that thing you do where you play out an entire conversation in your head, picturing exactly how it's going to go before you even say a word? Or maybe you've had that weird feeling, that little ping that something's about to happen, and then it does. You might just brush it off as, overthinking, but what if it's something more? So let's really sit with this question for a moment. That feeling like you're a couple of steps ahead of everyone else? It isn't just some weird personality quirk. According to psychology, it could actually be a sign that your brain is wired in a fundamentally different way. It suggests your mind isn't just taking the world in, it's actively predicting it. And there's a name for this whole concept. It's called predictive processing. See, most people think of the brain as just reacting to things. It sees something, it hears something, and then it responds. But a predictive mind, it's more like a super powerful simulator. It's constantly building models, running what-if scenarios, and making these incredibly educated guesses about what's coming next, all based on its library of past experiences. It's a proactive machine, not a reactive one. So, how does this superpower actually show up in real life? Well, the first major sign is that you're a natural-born pattern hunter. This is all about an innate ability to see connections where pretty much everyone else just sees noise. And let's be super clear here. We're not talking about magic or being psychic. It's just that your brain is exceptionally good at connecting the dots. It could be seeing a trend emerge from a bunch of data, or noticing a subtle loop in someone's behavior, or hearing the unspoken theme in a casual chat. Your mind just automatically pieces it all together to see where the story is really going. Okay, so a predictive mind doesn't just spot these patterns for fun. It uses them to prepare for the future. And this is where your brain becomes this amazing strategic simulator, constantly playing a game of mental chess with reality itself. This brings us right back to playing out those conversations in your head. But it's not some random habit. Psychology calls this advanced predictive processing. It's your brain's way of modeling all the possibilities, just like a chess master thinking through every potential move and countermove, so that you're ready for almost anything that comes your way. And this right here is a crucial difference. This isn't about worrying, it's about strategizing. While other people might just be reacting to what's happening right in front of them, your mind is already busy gaming out the next 3 steps. It thinks in layers, looking at a problem from all these different angles at once. This is really what thinking in layers is all about. You're not just staring at the individual pieces on the board, you're seeing the entire system, the whole game. You're not just thinking about your very next move, but 10 moves down the line, and you're prepping for every possible outcome along the way. All right, so moving on from strategic thinking, let's talk about social perception. A predictive mind is also kind of like a human data scanner, incredibly skilled at reading that huge amount of information that is never, ever spoken out loud. You ever walk into a room and just feel the tension instantly? That's a sign of something psychologists call hypervigilance. Now, while it can be linked to anxiety, in a predictive mind, it's more like a finely tuned awareness. What feels like some mysterious gut feeling is actually your brain doing this incredibly high-speed data analysis, scanning dozens of tiny micro details to figure out the emotional climate of a room before anyone's even said a word. Yeah, we tend to call this intuition, but really, it's much more mechanical and skill-based than some vague feeling. The source material explains it perfectly. It's your brain systematically using a set of highly refined tools to translate silent signals into solid predictions. So, what's in this mental toolbox? It's the ability to notice the things that are nearly invisible to most people. That tiny shift in someone's posture when a certain topic comes up, a split-second flicker of an expression, a change in their tone of voice. Your brain logs all of these nonverbal cues and uses them to understand what's really being said. And this heightened perception, it leads to a final and maybe the most powerful ability of them all. You become a natural truth detector, someone who can see straight through the social performances that people put on every day. Psychologists call this high social perception. It's the reason you might have a really low tolerance for that forced laugh at a party or for over-the-top attention-seeking drama. Your brain isn't just listening to the words people are saying, it's cross-referencing them against all that nonverbal data it's collecting to figure out the real intention underneath. And this is so key, because your mind is so busy analyzing the reality of a situation, you might find it really hard to just play along. And yeah, this can sometimes mean you end up standing alone, not because you're antisocial, but because your brain prioritizes understanding the truth over participating in a story you already know is fake. So there you have it. 4 really rare signs of a predictive mind. You're a natural pattern hunter, a strategic simulator, a hyper-aware data scanner, and an unflinching truth detector. And these aren't just separate quirks. They're all different sides of a brain that is hardwired to model and predict the world. If you saw yourself in any of these signs, it is so important that you hear this next part. Your brain isn't broken. It's not anxious or too much. The way it processes the world is actually uniquely powerful. What can sometimes feel like a heavy burden is in reality an incredible strength. You're not just a passenger experiencing life as it happens. You are an active mapmaker, charting the terrain of the future before you even get there. So I want you to take a moment and just reflect. Which one of these really hit home for you? Was it the mental chess, the ability to read a room, or maybe that intolerance for fake behavior? Understanding how your amazing mind works is the very first step to mastering it. So which of these signs resonated with you the most?